Hi everyone, and welcome back to our channel. In today's video, I want to talk to you about a powerful herb called Japanese knotweed and why it has become one of the most talked about herbs in the Lyme disease community. Before we get started, I want to say that you are responsible to do your own research. This video is for educational purposes only. I encourage you to speak with your healthcare provider or herbalist. I don't give medical advice, and I'm not a medical professional or herbalist. I'm just Karen, and I'm a nice one. Even my shirt says so. So let's get started. There's been a lot of news lately about Lyme disease and other tick-borne illnesses like alpha-gal syndrome, Powassan virus, and one of the newest ones is the bourbon virus, not the drink. But since I mentioned alpha-gal, which is the condition that can make people allergic to red meat, I was watching a YouTube video on, it was Dr. Judy Morgan. She's a holistic veterinarian. She was being interviewed on a podcast, and the topic of ticks came up. And she shared that her husband had alpha-gal syndrome. She said he received acupuncture treatments where they placed tiny little needles kind of in and around his ears, and he had those on for about a month. And according to Dr. Morgan, after the treatments, he was able to eat red meat again without any problems. So I thought that was really interesting. So it may be something worth researching if you or someone has that you know has alpha-gal. Now, ticks have been around for years, and the problem seems to be getting worse. Lyme disease continues to affect thousands of people every year. So let's quickly go over what Lyme disease actually is. Lyme disease is a bacterial infection caused primarily by Borrelia burgdorferi. Hopefully I said that right. It's spread to humans through a bite of an infected tick, although not every tick carries Lyme disease. Symptoms vary from person to person, but may include a bullseye rash, fever and chills, extreme fatigue, headaches, muscle aches, joint pain, swollen lymph nodes, and neck stiffness. If left untreated, the infection can spread throughout the body and may cause severe joint pain and swelling, especially in the knees, facial paralysis, also known as Bell's palsy, numbness or tingling, heart rhythm problems, dizziness or fainting, memory or concentration problems, and nerve pain. That's why it's important to see your doctor if you discover an attached tick. Remove it properly, and if possible, save the tick and bring it with you. Depending on your area and local recommendations, it may be tested to identify the species or determine whether it carried certain pathogens. So, how is Lyme disease treated? The standard treatment is antibiotics, most commonly doxycycline. People who receive treatment early often recover completely. However, having Lyme disease once does not make you immune. If you're bitten again by an infected tick, you can get Lyme disease again, so it's important to seek medical attention whenever appropriate. Delaying treatment increases the risk of more serious complications. So, what's all the excitement about this Japanese knotweed? Japanese knotweed has been used in traditional Chinese medicine for well over 1,000 years. Historically, it's been used to reduce inflammation and joint pain, improve blood circulation, help treat certain infections, supports your liver and gallbladder health, promotes wound healing for cuts and burns, including third-degree burns, and skin infections. Modern research has identified several beneficial compounds that may explain these traditional uses. The first is resveratrol. It's a powerful antioxidant with anti-inflammatory properties. The next is polydatin, which is converted into resveratrol in the body and supports heart and blood vessel health. Then there is emodin, which has antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, and mild laxative properties. And finally, Japanese knotweed also contains quercetin and other flavonoids, which are antioxidants that help protect cells from damage. So this plant is packed with beneficial compounds. Japanese knotweed is native to Japan, China, and Korea, and it was introduced to Europe and North America during the 1800s. And because it grows so aggressively, it has become one of the world's most invasive plants. While homeowners often see it as a nuisance, herbalists see it very differently. The reason so many are talking about Japanese knotweed for Lyme disease is because laboratory studies have shown that the compounds found in the knotweed may have activity against Borrelia burgdorferi. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. That's the bacteria that causes the Lyme disease. Research from Johns Hopkins has found that certain extracts were effective against the bacteria in laboratory settings, including some persistent forms that can survive standard antibiotic treatment. However, and this is important, those studies were done in the laboratory. We don't have yet a strong clinical evidence showing that Japanese knotweed alone can cure Lyme disease in people, but many herbal practitioners include Japanese knotweed as part of a complementary Lyme protocol because it helps reduce the inflammation, supports the nervous system, and eases symptoms. Resveratrol is also able to cross the blood-brain barrier, which is one reason it's often discussed when neurological Lyme symptoms are involved. And like any supplement, though, Japanese knotweed has potential downsides. Some people experience stomach upset, nausea, diarrhea, or dizziness. Because it may slow blood clotting, it can increase the risk of bleeding if you're taking blood thinners. It may also interact with certain blood pressure and diabetes medications. And women who are pregnant or breastfeeding should avoid it unless they're directed otherwise by their healthcare provider. One more thing to remember, if you've recently been diagnosed with Lyme disease, antibiotics remain the standard medical treatment. Japanese knotweed should be viewed as a complementary herbal supplement rather than a replacement for antibiotics. Now, on this channel, we also talk a lot about emergency preparedness. And as long as medical care is available, if I or someone in my family were diagnosed with Lyme disease, I would choose the prescribed antibiotic over the herb. We often prefer and go the natural remedy route for minor ailments, but there are some situations where it's simply better to just go see a doctor. So with that said, we also believe in preparing for emergencies. If we ever faced a long-term disaster where medical care wasn't readily available, it's helpful to have supplies on hand. It's good to keep herbal remedies like Japanese knotweed and also prepare by having emergency medications such as antibiotics that are available through services like Jace Medical. And I'll leave a link in the description section below if you'd like to learn more about that. Japanese knotweed come in capsules, tinctures, and powder form. While it's not proven to cure Lyme disease, many people use it because it helps support the body's response and relieve the symptoms. So what are your thoughts? Have you ever heard of Japanese knotweed, or have you yourself have tried it? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit from watching it. Thank you for watching.